Hi, Ray East here. As I film this, our nation, the United States of America that is going through a time of unprecedented crisis. And the one question that seems to be on top of everyone's mind is, with all the problems that are going on that are so large, that loom so big, how can I be of service? How can I help? Most people, myself included, at times have felt like things are just so big. What can little old me do to be a part of the solution? And I have friends they're texting me, they're calling me like, Ray, you're a life coach, you're an executive coach, you know how to help people become more helpful. What can I do here? And then also there's the implicit assumption that I'm also an African American, and my friends know my story. I've had a lot of the defining pain of my early life came from racism. So the question is, what now shall we do, given that we are in this place of not only a pandemic, not only a quarantine, but also riots going on in the streets and just a lot of hardship going on for a lot of people in the aftermath of the death of George Floyd. So, I want to talk about how we can be resourceful, and I want to inspire everybody to do three things. Everyone can take action, can create wonder, and can believe. And I'm going to talk about how these three things can help all of us who are searching for solutions to seemingly intractable problems, how we can actually create a space where those solutions can arise. Okay? So let me start off by telling you the story about what happened to me this last weekend. I was on a Zoom call with a friend of mine who lives up in New York City, and she and I were both talking about how disheartening and saddening everything that's going on has been, and about institutional racism and the effects on us personally, and just how that's got to be a better way than just violence to respond to this. That there's something that's more helpful. What's how do we help? And yeah, she was just talking about how she was feeling a little bit downcast, but that there was one kind of glimmer of hope that she encountered, because in the greater New York City area in Long Island, there was a march of people who were protesting the horrible treatment and the murder of George Floyd. And amongst the protesters were some policemen who were protesting right along with everybody else. And when the march that they were on, they marched right by the police station, everybody took a knee. And at that time, the policemen took a knee and they knelt down in front of that police station. And the image of that was carried on the news just kind of made tears well up in people's eyes, mine included, like the idea that something is right here in a world that seems gone so wrong right now. I just today saw on the news again other policemen, I believe it was this time in Santa Cruz, California, who joined protesters and also took the knee in honor of George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter movement. And it was so powerful. It just filled me with a sense of wonder. And so that's what I want to talk about today. Is a sense of how we can take action, create wonder, and believe in order to start to create the space that takes us in a healthy direction as a nation, internationally, but also just on a way more micro level in our own lives. I also should mention that I saw again on the news today that in Minneapolis, where this whole new wave of concern started very recently here, the Minneapolis police chief, Arradondo, he was being interviewed by a CNN reporter, and when she brought the family of George Floyd in live she had a cell phone, and she said, and it was like a live stream somehow with I think it was the brother and somebody else who were related to George Floyd. And it was the first time that the police chief had contact with the family of George Floyd. And when he said, "Wait, are you saying that this is the family of George Floyd that is on the live stream right now?" And she said, "Yeah." And she said, "What do you have to say?" And she stuck the phone in his face to talk with them. Of course, I was like, "What is he going to say? This is wow." And what happened was so powerful. He took off his hat. He's the police chief, and he had his uniform on, but he took off his hat. And he said he was, I actually have notes here so I don't get his words wrong, but he says, he was absolutely devastatingly sorry for their loss. And he said that he would do anything to bring Floyd back, if he could. And it again moved me in a way that was powerful because I was filled with a sense of wonder. And that place of kind of closed in, withdrawn, hurting, that feeling I had moments before was replaced instantly because something shifted in my heart because of the wonder. Internal boundary stones, so to speak, shift in our hearts, and it takes us out of that protective, withdrawn mode into a place where we are open because we see a humble act of service or forgiveness or redemption or something that causes us to go, wait a minute. And all of a sudden, hope starts to flood into our hearts, and we're able to then have a dialogue that was not possible mere moments before. So what is wonder? A great definition of wonder that I love is that wonder is a feeling of surprise mingled with admiration caused by something beautiful and unexpected. And it could happen, as I'm driving in a car, and a beautiful sunset appears all of a sudden, and I'm moved with a sense of wonder. Or it could be policemen protesting along with everybody else in their community, taking the knee, and all of a sudden I feel a sense of surprise mingled with admiration caused by that beautiful and unexpected act on behalf of those policemen took. Wonder changes the game. So I want to encourage each of you, and I want to encourage myself right now as well, to never feel overwhelmed alone. I mean, it's okay to feel overwhelmed a little bit, but we need to process beyond the overwhelmed feelings and come to a place where we say, you know what, I feel passionate about something, so I'm going to take action, and I'm going to create wonder somehow. I'm going to do something. I'm going to, so to speak, take the knee. I'm going to take my hat off. I'm going to do something, and it's going to look humble, and I'm going to have my eyes focused squarely on something redemptive, something healing, something forgiving. It's going to look something in the neighborhood of those things that's going to create a sense of unexpected delight and surprise and admiration in people. And then, so I'm going to take action, I'm going to create that sense of wonder, and then last but not least, I'm going to believe that what I did was powerful. I'm going to believe that wonder will move internal boundary stones in the hearts of the people around me and create a safe and courageous environment where true dialogue can start. And that's the place where all great solutions start from, as far as I'm concerned. Wonder is the key to creative problem solving. And that's what we need in these unpredictable times. We need a way to solve problems that are extraordinary with solutions that are unpredicted and extraordinary. And that place of surprise and admiration, that's the type of vibe that opens up people's hearts and minds to try new things they never have before, which is exactly what we need. Wonder erases all of the polarization that's tearing our society apart. Wonder brings us to a place where we can dialogue. And it all begins when we decide to take action, create wonder, and believe that the safe and courageous environment that we've created is powerful to create solutions. Now, is wonder all we need for every problem to create a solution to every problem? Of course not. But it's a great place to start. And sometimes in a crisis, it's the only way that an actual or real solution can be come up with, is when people drop their defenses, stop being so withdrawn, stop being so defensive, and just engage each other, because a humble act creates the wonder that then levels the playing field and makes our hearts shift, and we all of a sudden are willing to dialogue. I will leave you with this. Don't feel that this national problem that wonder is great for national problems, but without thinking through, like, what does this look like on a very micro level for your own life? What do I mean by that? Like, let's say, do you have a family member, perhaps, or several family members that maybe you've not spoken to for years? There's division in your family. Well, if you wanted to, if you felt like it's the right time and you felt brave and courageous and willing to do something, what if you took action, created wonder, and believed that what you did was powerful? What if you picked up the telephone and said, hey, I know we haven't really spoken to each other for years. I know we don't see eye to eye, but those things that I disagree with, I don't care about them as much as I care about you. I want to start to talk again. That would absolutely create a sense of wonder in your relative's heart, and could open up a space for you all to have a dialogue that could lead to the reunification of a family. That is powerful, and you have the power to do that. Another example, let's say you are a leader. Maybe you have a small business and you have a few people reporting to you. Maybe you're a leader in a big organization and you have many people reporting to you. What if you saw that there were issues between people who worked with you and you, or the leadership or senior management of your organization? What if you as a leader decided, I'm going to take action, create wonder, and then believe? And you just did some type of action on behalf of your people, equivalent to bowing the knee, taking the cap off, doing something humble in the direction of redemption, forgiveness, or whatever it is required for the moment that you come up with. What if you did something like that and released a new wave of people lost in a sense of wonder? I guarantee you, hearts would be opened. Your people would start to have dialogues with you that they never did before, because you would have opened up a safe and courageous environment. So what's my point? Everybody can benefit from doing these three things. And in fact, everybody should start doing these three things, for not just with huge systemic racism, but for everyday problems. If every single person who saw this video started to do these things, literally we could be mere months away from real solutions to huge intractable can I speak? Intractable problems on a micro level, but also on the macro level. Because a safe and courageous environment for dialogue is always going to be the necessary starting place for lasting change.